Forbes at ForbesRiley.com. Now, back to the show. Here's Forbes Riley.
Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm having the most wonderfully intimate conversation with Willie Jay here from Pure Mission Entertainment. He focuses on empowering people through various mediums of art and music. And I'm going to ask you, what inspired you to start this venture?
The need for hope was the premises. It was the foundational piece, just seeing the need for hope. And outside of the, I'm not living in the hood anymore, but I spent 13 years of my life in that environment. And my mom, after my best friend got killed, she said, we're packing our bags and we're getting out of here now. And it's time to get you around some different types of people, which was very significant. It changed the trajectory of my whole life and mindset to get around people that didn't necessarily look like me. And then I started to figure out, like, wait a minute, we all bleed the same blood. And I'm like, wait, there's Caucasians who go through pain. Pain is universal. And I start seeing that.
That's an interesting thing. Did you not get that when you're the energy in the hood? Because I spent time there with Dexter. It's very interesting mindset.
Yeah.
And so when you left that, did you realize that you definitely have choices that you didn't realize you had?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I started to harness a lot of that energy and just transmute those frustrations into my art. And I was able to focus a lot more. You didn't hear the gunshots at night anymore. I lost a lot of sleep as a little kid in the alleys and stuff. And you're hooping with your buddy one day, and then the next moment your neighbor, say, hey, your friend, your neighbor Bobby got killed last night, that type of thing. So once we made that transition, environment does play a key. I know I spoke earlier about dreaming big in a toxic environment, but at some point, as John Maxwell would say, at some point, you have to change your environment. You have to change your inner circle of certain friends, because you're going to end up in the same situation.
Do you believe that your art can make a difference to the community that you grew up in?
Yes, it's already doing that, actually. You'll be surprised at, just off the record, how many people they light up when they see me and want to take pictures in grocery stores. And these are some of the people that are from where I'm from. And I said, sure, I will definitely take a picture with your brother. I understand. And they look at you like you're a ghost sometimes, and it's like, wow, how did you do it? How did you make it? I said, well, it was in an introspective type of way, in a non-religious way. I'm definitely a spiritual guy. And that has definitely played a significant role in being aware of who I am, self-discovery, and what I needed to embrace. And that shift, it definitely changed everything, and I was
Let's
able
get
to.
into some nitty-gritty. So you've moved locations. Your mom says we're going to go to a different environment. Somehow you overcame this and literally landed in the laps of a variety of celebrities and magazines. Really, what happened? What was that all about? Because I want to give a blueprint to other people.
Absolutely. So here we go, to give you a little synopsis of this. Collinsville, Illinois, another least likely place, but a very prominent place. Middle class, some wealthy people, a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners. And we started in a place where it's now my buddy Tony, shouts out to him, my Italian buddy, my friend. He took over the office where we started Pure Mission, in a little office downtown Collinsville, Illinois. And we had this vision, and we enjoyed every ounce of it, Forbes. The grassroots, I tell people now, enjoy that process of just starting small, and that visualization process, and just having masterminds. We had many masterminds before we had the logo, as you can see in the screen. I enjoyed every segment of building this company, from the vision and mission statement, which is creating hope through arts, entertainment, business, and bringing more love and empowering people, changing lives. And it was all gelled around hope. And here's our mindset. If you stay focused on the why, it'll become your GPS. God gives us this why, and don't divorce your why. Stay focused on that why, and it'll take you everywhere you need to go. And you keep compounding consistency, what compounds, as Maxwell would say. I'm a Maxwell team leader coach, by the way, as
I
well.
hear that.
So you will hear a little of that John lingo come out at
I have
times.
to have you become a Forbes Riley team leader. We got a whole bunch of different ideas.
Absolutely, absolutely. We have to talk. But that's it. That was it. And I've never divorced. We're in like 6th year now, 6th year, and I never strayed away. And there's been some turbulence. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, you think? That's the other thing entrepreneurs think. Oh, if you're
Oh my
successful and
God.
you're smooth sailing, anything
Oh
but. Just like you said, you
goodness.
got to enjoy the ride because without the storms, you don't appreciate the calm.
That's it. I love that. About to take that one.
I just
Without the
storms,
that's
you
a
don't
good one.
appreciate the calm. Yep.
That's a good one.
I knew his
Pain
t-shirt.
is yeah, I like that. And that's been my story. From recording records like for Hurricane Mariah, right? For instance, right? With that being said, to kind of expound on what you just said, we're on our way to LA. Our sister company is out of LA, Music Doctors. We've been in movies like with Tyrese Gibson, like as far as, musical soundtracks and stuff. And we've been together, those brothers, we've been together for 20 plus years. They're from where I'm from, but they're living out in LA right now. And let me tell you, before I can get off the plane to finish and finalize the record that we call We Love You, Puerto Rico, which was brought to me by my president, Aaron Emmett, who started with me from the beginning. And he said, hey, man, there's a cause that I think would be great for you to write a song for. And I was like, okay, what's up? He said, you heard about the Hurricane Mariah tragedy and dilemma that's going on? I was like, no, I haven't. I haven't heard it in the news a whole lot at the time. Mm-hmm. And he said, hey, it would be great since we're Pure Mission Entertainment and this is what you believe in and it's what you came up with. And I got it from a Bible verse like Pure Mission, right? Matthew 5:8, blessed are the pure in heart, they'll see God. I figure we're all far from perfect, but anybody can have pure intentions, right? Pure motive. So that's not too hard to live by. So that's where Pure Mission Entertainment came from. So here's our first mission, official charitable project, which, wow, just went crazy. And I expect to win, Forbes. I'm always in it to win.
You and my husband have that in common. He goes on stage as a bodybuilder. He's like,
yeah, I'm expecting to win. Now, God always does exceeding abundantly above, he far exceeds my expectation all the time. But I come in the game to win. So I was like, no, we're going to be a driving force. And we're going to be number one in our next one day. We're going to do some things and we're going to do it from the premises and we're going to stay faithful and committed to our why. So before I can get off the plane.
Get off the plane. Go for it. Keep going.
Right, I'm about to. Right off the plane, a friend of mine back home, I get a call that 3 different people had tragic events took place before I could even get off the plane to even get in the studio to record We Love You, Puerto Rico, and a song that we did for a young lady that killed herself at 18 because of cyberbullying. That's a whole nother topic.
Oh my God.
And her mom asked me to write and record a record. She did really well. But mind you, before I could even record any of these things, speaking of the storm, the calm before the storm, I get all of these calls before I can get off my flight that someone that I knew from way back, I recorded with, coming from that life, the culture, and he reached out to me and he's like, hey man, what you do? He's like, I love what you're doing, PME, but he ended up getting shot in the head. So we had to pray for this guy. Then another guy in LA ended up flipping over, tossing another guy that you can see in one of my videos and flying above all. That was he tumbled over and had a motorcycle incident and broke some bones in his body. And then another buddy, I call him my rock and roll artist, rest in heaven. I don't want to get too far ahead, and did the In the Morning track for COVID-19. Sounds like Steve Perry from Journey, the group Journey, the rock group. And he went into this coma. So I was recording under pressure, basically. I could have turned around. I was like, man, every time. I said, it's like birthing a baby, these contractions and all of these that's how I know when I get to encourage my other friends, my other inner circle buddies and celebrity friends around the globe. And I say, hey, if you're going through some pain, it means you have a baby that you're about to birth. Because trust me, buddy, that's been the story of my life. And that's the way it always is. And that's pretty much what I wanted to say. Pain became gain. The song blew up. Broadway World picked it up after that. So I gave you the.
I'm just looking at you going, I pushed out 2 7-pound twins. We had to talk about what it means to have a baby. Things that you may not really know.
I know nothing about that. Yeah.
But I'm sitting here listening to you, and now I'm inspired because I like to do crazy, amazing things. I don't sing. And in fact, I have an entire career because I don't sing. I was a Broadway dancer, and I remember getting down to Club Med. And this is the craziest thing because this is now like 40 some odd years ago, long before Lip Sync Battle came out. And you'll see a couple of videos I'll share with you because I'm a pretty inspired dancer. If I could sing, Beyonce, move over. But I don't.
Watch out.
Right. So when I got there, their entertainment at night was they would take the entire staff and have them lip sync Broadway musicals. This way they could just kind of pretend and do it. It was just good enough. And the music was spot on because it was the record back then.
Yeah.
And I then went on to do a lot of lip syncs for a lot of different people because it was one of my favorite things long before TikTok and all those things came out.
Yeah.
But as I'm listening to you, I did you know who Grant Cardone is, yeah?
Yes, I do. Was featured with him in the Yahoo Top Entrepreneurs a few years ago. That's how I'm.
All right.
I got in.
There you go. I was lucky enough to be on his stage at 10X in front of 10,000 people at Mandalay Bay. And
I saw that.
Said some powerful things. Well, somebody gave me a song based on the intensity of my words. And it's a pretty powerful track. And I'm like, damn, could I do a spoken word type track? Because as you're talking about pure mission, I have a whole word about permission. And I'm listening to you and I'm thinking, okay, what would it take for an entrepreneur, artist, actress to cut a song, to do a song that mattered, that maybe we play? Because I'll tell you what got me through my workouts was Ludacris and Carrie Underwood singing I Am the Champion. I'm unshakable, unstoppable. I would listen to that track every single day. I play it for my team members. I play it for my audiences because I just got it in my head that if I could key into this, that I am the champion of my own story for other people, for overcoming tragedy. And I just dug in. I'm like, I would love to have a song like that. You may be the guy to do that.
Count me in.
Right? You got to do it right here. I'm not kidding. I have no idea how you do it. I've watched people go into the studio. In fact, you mentioned Journey as though I might not know. I don't know if you know who I am, but I had a radio show on Westwood One where I interviewed classic rock stars called Off the Record with Forbes Riley. I had Journey and Foreigner and Clapton and George Thorogood, and I'd go down the list. I interviewed them one-on-one in a private room that had acoustics to it that I would ask questions. Here's the funny thing. I got that gig because I didn't know them.
Wow.
You don't know Journey and Foreigner. I just didn't. I like you said, I was doing something else. So I would ask the most bizarre questions that got huge reactions. I'm talking to Walter Becker from Steely Dan, right? And I simply said to him, hey, so where did the name for your band come from? He's like, oh, Forbes, that means a steel dildo. I'm like, no, didn't know that. Don't tell him you don't know that. But oh my God. And so I would ask these questions that fans forget to ask because they know it.
Yeah.
It was a wildly popular show. I met all those guys. But I never thought, what would it be to go in the studio and record? I mean, what is that experience like? Remember the first time you ever did it?
Yeah, I do. I was about 18, 19 years old. And it was very euphoric. There was this, oh man, it's blissful. It's inexplicable, kind of. And I feel so at home. I think you should know, and it kind of amazes a lot of my engineers from here to LA and St. Louis, Atlanta. I haven't taken a piece of paper in the studio to remember my words in eons.
Are you serious?
Eons.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. All of the songs that
Talk
I've
to me about
written.
songs like Moving Up and Sunshine with the Rain. Talk to me about where they came from.
Sunshine with the Rain. Wow. With my client who's an NAACP award winner. I managed this buddy of mine. He's from there. He's a four-time world boxing champion, Olympic boxing champion, Arthur Flash Johnson. So I had been working on this record for a few years, but I couldn't finish it because we were burying a lot of loved ones at the time. And when it finally came time to record this record, Forbes, I got a crazy call. And it was one of my close cousins who always called me and said, "Hey, do I have to talk to a personal assistant to get to you now?" We would joke around. He's like, "Is it okay if I go on tour with you and do some things?" And before we could even do that, rest in peace, cousin Lamar. And he was found in the back seat of his car, dead. Yep. And this was 2 days prior to having to record this scheduled recording session. And my engineer, Ken, told me, he asked me, he said, "Condolences, my brother." He said, "Do you want to convene with this session?" I said, "Hey, man, let me pray about it. Give me time to exhale and digest everything that's been going on." And he said, "Sorry for your loss. Let me know." I said, called him back in about an hour. I said, "We're going to go forward with this session." He said, "You sure?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "God, I have the inner voice. The voice of God within told me, take the URE off of this word pressure, right? And when you take the URE off, you're left with what?" He said, "Press." He said, "Yeah." He told me to press forward, and that something magical and something amazing was going to happen in the studio.
Mm.
Now, I went there. Something amazing did happen. That was our first record, not to chart on national charts, but internationally over in Europe, top 200. And a little girl changed her mind about killing herself when she heard this record. So that's even more important than charts, right? Empowering people, changing lives, right? And that's all accolades are. It's to amplify your voice. And so we went on with the session, and guess who we got the attention of? Who wanted to push this record? And then he helped it to get to those charts right after pressing through, taking the URL for the URE out for this word pressure and pressing forward. Leonard Skinner's co-writer of Sweet Home Alabama,
Oh, wow.
co-manager of the Eagles,
Wow.
and he said, "I love this song. Being the president of Billboard, love this record. We haven't heard one like this in a while." He said, "You must have gone through something when you recorded." I said, "You have no idea, buddy."
Oh, man, I just got
Yeah.
freaking chills.
Shouts out to Stephen Rich, my buddy. Yeah, true story. Yeah.
Wow.
And it's always something behind these records, though, Forbes.
Yeah, no,
So
I'm feeling that. I'm feeling that you get a sense of bigger than you, you know?
it's way bigger than me. That's why I tell my clients, and our clients range from 15, 14 years old, 16 years old, 20, 30, 40, 50s, any generation you could think of. We're blessed to be able to coach these individuals. And I simply help people to become more resilient.
Well, wait, when you say coach, because we're coming down to the last part of our interview here, what is that? Although I got to tell you what I'm getting whispered in my ear
What's
is
that?
the word wait. And
Yeah.
not just WAIT, that the wait is over, but the
Mm,
WEIGHT is over.
I love that.
Weight of your body, the weight of your soul. Let me ask you a question. Because we're doing this, we're doing a record. We're definitely either just doing a single or a record, but you and I
Yeah.
are doing something. We're just establishing it here. Because
It's
I'm a
done deal. I'm writing it down now. I'm
Yep.
writing that down now. I'm gonna hold you to that. There it is. Let
Well,
my
you know,
buddies in LA know. Let my buddies in LA know my word.
well, I'm here in LA. You know what? Let's have a little meeting because I'm going to tell you something. We're doing a song that
Absolutely.
has to do with and again, I hear the same voices that you hear. And if you say that the
Mm,
weight is over, the WEIGH, what's holding you down in your body and down in your soul, the food you put in your
mm.
face, the memories and the pain you can't erase. Oh shit. All right.
That's it.
I know.
Hey, I really dig that. The
Well,
weight is over. The
yeah, I
weight is
know. I'll
over.
tell you what, the pain
Hmm.
you can't erase. Here's what's interesting about this song, now that I'm thinking about
So,
it, is that and it's Demi Lovato did it when she did Confident. She got molested. And there's songs that talk about the warrior. I don't know if you've ever heard that song. I play that
yeah.
song all the time to my young women and men who have been abused. That song,
Mm.
Warrior, changed so much in us. There's
Yeah.
another song from the TV, it's a Broadway show called Jekyll and Hyde, and it's one of the
Mm.
greatest songs ever. It is my moniker. I just need to hear that. Somebody gifted that to me when I was going through a personal growth period, and I play it
Mm.
all the time at moments that matter. I would love this song because that being touched, being hurt, being eliminated, being thrown away physically. And I have so
Yeah.
many people who I'm uncovered that 1 in 3 are dealing with that. And then they
Yeah.
eat over it, or they drug over it, or they do whatever over it. And I'm going to tell you something. I think that this is a powerful message. Oh my God, I got absolute chills. You want to talk about having a personal connection to everybody who's ever passed? Between you and me, it's an army back there.
Absolutely. I used to be one of those individuals that you just mentioned, Forbes. Suffered abuse as a kid, a child coming up, and I was venting in all of the wrong areas as a result. Drugs, hustling, you name
Yep.
it. Prison time, almost missed my daughter being born at a
Oh my
relapse.
goodness. Oh, Willie, I didn't know
Yeah.
this part of your life.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We've had to come back from a lot. Setbacks, we had to leverage every moment, good or bad, so that we can get to this point.
Well, because the setbacks become your comeback if you use it right, if you understand, if you've got people in your
That's it.
corner who
Yep.
can elevate you and
Yeah.
understand that we are both
Yep.
successful, not perfect. Far from
That's it. Far from perfect. That's it. Just better. We're just
well,
better. And
you
we're
know,
a
it's
work in
how
progress.
I intuitively said that you are the sum of the obstacles you overcome. You're not the sum of all the successes you have. Your success,
Mm.
Rocky said it. It's not how many times you get hit. It's how many times you get hit and
Right.
get back
Get
up
up.
and count.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what's one of your
Yeah.
favorite quotes?
One of my favorite quotes of all time
Yep.
from someone else or my own.
It doesn't matter to me, brother. You tell me.
Well, I have quite a few. One of mine is growing with the flow.
Yeah.
Growing with the flow. That's the story of my life. Growing with the flow. A flow that's unpredictable, a flow that is at times uncomfortable. And sometimes you can't calculate it, but you leverage it and surf it like a wave. That's how we live our lives. The
Yeah.
first chapter in my first #1 international bestseller, the chapter was growing with the flow. Grow with the flow.
Really. How many
Yeah,
bestsellers? How many bestsellers do you have?
4 right now. 4 #1s. Yeah.
Really?
Working on the number 5, 6, and 7. Never Stop Winning is coming up, by the way, too. And we hope to get some heavyweights like yourself in there on our podcast and stuff. Never Stop Winning. That book is definitely about to drop pretty soon.
I'm impressed with how you find this much time and have this much drive. And we've got 2 minutes left to the close of this show. Give me I'm going to give you the camera. Turn to my audience and tell them something you want the world to know. Go.
Don't give up. That's what I would like to say. Don't give up on you. Show up for you. When we think of the word integrity, most of the time we think of it being a means or an experience of just, showing up for other people. But when you show up for yourself, you will show up for others. And dream big right where you are. You're already winning right where you are. And do it unapologetically and be as authentic as possible and rebel against the odds because your voice matters.
Hey, I got 1 minute to close. I want you to think about this because I'm going to reach out to you privately. How does one start? Do you think about a riff, a music, a note, a chord, or lyrics, or where you go? And I'm going to save that for part 2. I'm going to invite you in to come maybe talk to my mastermind about this because we're writing.
Sounds good. Yes. Let me know.
Hey, Will, how do we find you? How do we find you?
Pure Mission Entertainment .com, puremissionent.com, and mainly on Instagram, as you mentioned earlier. That's one of my better platforms, and that you can find me there at Willie Jay PME. Mhm.
All right, you guys, we are down to the last few seconds of our show. What an enlightened, amazing journey this has been. Wait till you see the story of Willie Jay and me. It's going to be interesting. I'll to tell you what, I think there's something magical happening here, but it always happens here on Form Factor. I'll see you guys
Yeah.
next time. Stay blessed and stay connected. Until next we meet. Bye-bye, everybody.
Yes.